is killing young people. Eric Kimeu, I don't support it, I'm ignorant, and I want to sell my biometric data. Now, Worldcoin is suspended. Who is going to buy it? That is what you are saying. We'll be taking a look at more feedback at TV47KE, that is on Facebook, at TV47 News on X, well, previously Twitter, and Nyorongita _ at Lemuki _F, and at Fred Indimuli, that is on X. But right now, let's cross over to West Pokot County. Our very own Andre Juma is there. Andre Juma, a very good morning to you. What is the state of security in West Pokot?
A very good morning, colleague from West Pokot County. Today we speak to the county commander of West Pokot County, Peter Katam, to shed more light on matters to do with security. Remember, a week ago, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, this is Kithure Kindiki, toured the area, saying that since he took the oath of office, cases to do with insecurity have actually reduced. Let's just hear from him if this is true.
Nataka kuhakikishia wananchi ya kwamba usalama katika kaunti yetu ya West Pokot imeimarishwa. Tumeongeza askari, tumeongeza officers katika sehemu mbalimbali, na ile ya hivi karibuni ni ile station ama post ambayo waziri mwenyewe Kindiki wakati alikuwa West Pokot aliamuru ijengwe pale lami nyeupe. Tunaita lami nyeupe siku hizi kwa sababu ya amani. So lami nyeupe right now tuko na officers zaidi ya 53 ambaye tumeweka pale wanashika doria. Kwa hivyo between Kainuk na Marich, that stretch ambaye zamani ilikuwa shida, nataka kuhakikishia wananchi kwamba hivi sasa iko salama kabisa. Kutoka pia hapo lami nyeupe kuelekea Sarmach, kuenda mpaka Masol, mpaka Amolem, nataka kuhakikisha kwamba kuna usalama ya kutosha. Na we are doing more. Tuko na mipango ya kufanya nyingi zaidi. Area ya Chesogon, naona ya kwamba so far this area itakuja kuwa na amani kuliko any other time katika historia ya county hii.
From West Pokot County, my name is Andre Juma, and back to you.
Thank you, Andre Juma. We'll definitely be keeping a look at West Pokot being one of the counties in the Rift Valley and even in the Kerio Valley to see how things are looking like. Even yesterday, this is CS Interior, Kithure Kindiki, Professor Kithure Kindiki, before the Education Committee, talking about having taking a look at the teachers in the ASL areas. And speaking about matters committees, let me take you through what you expect to see today in your subsequent bulletins. And we do start with matters education. Okay, let me take you through first of matters politics. Definitely get to expect initial sittings for negotiations between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza teams expected to take place today. Today we did have that conversation. MP Gatanga and also Jeremiah Kioni just talking about that. So we definitely expect to see even the political party leaders for both factions giving more updates on the same when that will happen. And obviously went to see the former Nigerian president, Obasanjo. Maybe in Kenya, we definitely will be updating you on that. From that, now to matters blue economy. Cabinet Secretary of Mining, Salim Mvurya, will be presiding over the launch of women in the blue economy in Kenya. And I believe it is an event that is being set up, and we'll be giving you some live pictures later on, even in subsequent bulletins. And now to a particular event that is actually ongoing right now. CS Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, Soipan Tuya, will be briefing, is actually briefing the media on the September 4th to 6th Africa Climate Summit. And Nairobi County will play host to this summit. Let me just update you on what is happening there. And, so Pantu says 9,500 delegates have been registered for Climate Change Summit to be held at KICC. And the world is witnessing high temperatures breaking historical records. So Pantu also says that we will use the summit to show linkage of Africa's inability to have sufficient capital. Africa will propose a new financial path to address climate change. She also says Africa is lacking financial muscle to address this challenge, and the media is at the core of this tone. And she also says NDC requires at least 62 billion shillings from 2020 to 2030, and that they have a budget for $26 million for the climate summit. We'll be giving you live pictures, and our very own Paul Kirobi is there standby for that. Remember this, even as President William Ruto invited African leaders. This is actually the first ever summit under the AU. So it is definitely a big deal. Still on what to expect today, Haki Africa is expected to hold a press briefing today to call for justice for protesters arrested during the Azimio demonstrations in previous demonstrations and in previous months, and they're really calling for justice, even as they say that they have Haki Africa itself has visited the DCI and other justice-related organizations to call for justice to have this particular demonstrators and protesters released. I'm currently actually looking for that particular more details on that. I'll be giving you on that, but we can also move on matters health. Oral Corolla vaccine campaign to begin today. There was a press briefing yesterday on this, and it was said that the focus will be on 8 counties. The International Coordinating Group granting 1,533,199 doses of the vaccine. And just to jump into the wonderful world of sports, this is an event that has been going on. I don't know if you've actually been knowing what, and rather following up on it. The last round of group stage matches for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers to be played today, and Morocco is set to play against Colombia, while Germany face South Korea. We'll be updating that diary later on in what is happening in different counties. But now to Nakuru County, and specifically in Naivasha, where our very own Willie Dennis Njiru is. Willie, it is quite cold in Nairobi County. I don't know how cold it is in Naivasha. Please update us on that. And also, what do you really expect to see today?
All right, thank you very much, my colleague in studios, Stanley Nyaringita. It's indeed a cold morning here in Naivasha. I woke up and thought it is going to be a bit warm, and just left the house without more dressing, and it's quite cold here in Naivasha, as the station is indeed in Nairobi. But bringing you up to speed in the latest developments within the country, we will be having such subjects later on this morning, but it is in order that we could just touch base on issues that we had the proposals on the academic and the curriculum of the country that affects our children. You remember there was a proposal that we are going to be having some subjects drawing closer downwards from 12 to 9, some from 7 to 5. And as it was in the early 80s, and then we had the early 90s, and then the change of curriculum to what it is, we have been having some subjects going down, and these are some of the technical subjects which included art and craft, music, and these were technical jobs, you remember, and those who were perceived to have failed in their exams were taken to vocational training. And today, these vocational training are those who made it in such times are the ones who are flourishing in the hands-on job. I'm lucky to be joined by the deputy principal of Milimani Primary School, who is going to be telling us his name and what this means to our children and kids in school. The change of the said proposals about the changes that is going to be affecting our children.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Gabriel Mohoro, the deputy head teacher, Milimani Primary School in Naivasha. We are glad to have this interview about the changes, the proposed changes in the education sector. To us, we see as if it's somehow better because our kids sometimes they are overloaded with many books and many learning areas, which maybe some of them could not be of very high value to them. Yeah.
Now, are you certain that the latest proposals are going to impact positively in the eventuality in their lifetime careers?
To me, it will depend with the subject which maybe they have proposed to maybe remove from the curriculum, because we are not very sure of which learning areas which have been removed. But some technical learning areas like music and art and crafts, they are good to these learners, especially in their lifetime, because they are the one which they usually use in the TVETs, such higher learning areas like TVETs need such technical learning areas. Yeah.
So this I ask, if I was to ask the same question to our students and pupils, they will say take away mathematics and science subjects. Of course, those are not subjects that we will do away with, and including arts. How would you suggest to, as it has been like in the secondary school, we drop some subjects, how would you prefer in the junior secondary school, for instance, to bring down some of these subjects?
Because in the junior school, that's where we are supposed to look at the career of these runners. My proposal is that those running areas, even if we say that they must do mathematics, there are some learners who are supposed to be in other career which maybe do not need mathematics. For example, in these arts and crafts, whereby mathematics is not too much needed in those areas. And my proposal is, it's not my proposal and my opinion. If a learner, there are some learners in this learning area of mathematics, they are not very good in it. And in my proposal, it is better they are given choice to allowed to choose whether to do that mathematics or not. Yeah.
And that having been said, we have had issues where, like in Form 2, we have some subjects being dropped, like agriculture, and then in the long term, you find that some of these children end up being professional farmers. And there is a suggestion right now that we could have some of these institutions just having the line in profession. Maybe those who are doing medicine, they have like Milimani, which is basically doing pure science and is going to be venturing into some of this like medicine. And maybe you could have another school that could be maybe doing geography and physics, and that will be venturing in maybe things like geology. I don't know, what is your view about that, that it is time now as we embark on the next level, we ensure that our children are on course from the primary to junior secondary to high school before joining colleges?
That proposal, I think, to me, is the best, because whereby the learners are in that pathway, their own pathway, whereby if it is about science, humanities, they go to their own school, other than mixing them at the same school. So that proposal is the best we have ever had in this country. Yeah.
Maybe a last question. In your view, vis-a-vis the students' view, this is going to be a reliever when we bring down some subjects on them and on you. Is it the best way to go?
to me, is the best way to go because one, the learners were overloaded. Again, the teachers were overloaded. Thereby, for example, if you go to junior school, there was scarcity of teachers. And if they reduce the number of learning areas, that scarcity will be dealt with. So to me, it's the best way to go.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your time. Stanley, that is Gabriel Muhoro, the deputy principal at Milimani Primary School right here in Naivasha CBD, giving an insight on exactly what is going to be in the latest proposals that has been going on through in the Line Ministry of Education. And I would like maybe to share with you, Stanley, that we went to school when we had art and craft, music, home science, all that load was bestowed on us. But you remember some of these subjects as we enter into Form 2, we were dropping some of these subjects. But nonetheless, we must remember that some of these subjects we could be dropping at Form 2 may have a ripple effect on our lifetime careers. So there is every need to emphasize on whatever subject that have to be dropped. We must ensure that we retain some of these hands-on subjects like art and craft. You remember the furnitures we have today does not require a lot of mathematics, as you have had Mr. Muhoro there giving part of his side, does not require much of science as you had there. So as a matter of fact, as the proposals get on and then they are sent to the president for amendments and it is enacted, there is every need and every suggestion that we have to ensure that all these hands-on subjects are enlisted in our curriculum to ensure that as the students get out, we will not be having words like the deputy president said that there is no jobs, you have to create jobs. And these jobs can only be created when we are well trained on hands-on job. That is it from me here, Stanley Nyaringita in Naivasha. I take it back to you in studios for no more programming.
Right, thank you, Willie Dennis Njiri, for that detailed report and analysis in matters education. And as you rightfully put it, having these particular skills from primary schools all the way to tertiary institutions and even the universities is really key. And by the way, speaking of universities, this particular day, about around 9 a.m. there, President William Ruto is expected to preside over the launch of Open University. This is in Konza Konza Technopolis Development Authority in Machakos County. And just to update you also who will be in attendance in this, high-level education stakeholders in Kenya, including the cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, governors, members of parliament, among the other high-ranking education sector professionals. So we definitely expect to see and hear the same, whatever Willie Dennis Njero is saying, also alluding to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's remarks a few months ago that there are no jobs in Kenya. When he was speaking during a graduation ceremony, we would expect to hear some of these remarks during today's launch. And also, even as he presides this, still on matters education, the Senate Committee on Health is expected to meet Education CS Ezekiel Machogo to discuss a myriad of issues, including delayed disbursement of HELB loans. We'll be updating you on that also. This is what is happening in the Parliament buildings. From education to other issues on matters finance and what really concerns your money. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary, that is Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, will today appear before the Committee on Delegated Legislation of the Senate. So the whole purpose of this meeting is for the CS to explain, the draft Public Finance Management Regulations 2023, in which the government is seeking to change the public debt ceiling from 10 trillion Kenyan shillings to a threshold of 55% of debt to the gross domestic product GDP ratio in present value terms. This coming on the backdrop of the housing CS saying the housing PS saying that the whole housing levy has taken effect as of 1st July, and the whole talk on the implications of the Finance Act 2023. And also, I believe the National Treasury CS has a busy day today, because I also see that he'll be appearing on the Senate Committee on Finance to deliberate on the PFMA Bill 2023. Well, among the issues that we will be updating you on the same. And now to matters health. Cabinet Secretary Labour Florence Bore will meet Cabinet Secretary Health and the Council of Governors regarding the petition of unfair terms and conditions for the universal health coverage staff. So we obviously expect to see how this will be unfolding, even as we mark about 13 years of devolution. It's 10 years, by the way, 10 years of devolution. So how devolution has really, cut across in different counties, in the 47 counties, how this has really achieved the UHC. Remember, this is one issue that President William Ruto is really rooting for when it comes to universal health coverage and even the whole billing of it, talking of NHIF funding and the whole funding of this. So we definitely expect to see how this will unfold. And still on matters health, Public Investments Committee will meet Permanent Secretary, State Department, Medical Services existence to basically discuss on the existence operationalization, okay, that's quite a mouthful word, and accountability of Mathare Referral Hospital, which, along Thika Road, to get to see how this hospital is really operating, basically. I won't attempt to say that word again. Basically, its existence and how it is operating, again, still in matters health, and across the 47 counties, if you really need more mental health facilities across the 47 counties, again, the functionality of Mathare Hospital, how it has really achieved and served its purpose, even to have patients and people come from different parts of not only even Nairobi County, from Kiambu County, from Machakos County, from Kajuru County, coming to Mathare Hospital. We really need to have more such hospitals. And just a brief one before we take a short break. Senate Committee on Trade to meet President of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce to consider business and trade outlook in counties, still in matters counties here. And finally, Albinism Society of Kenya, ASK, in partnership with Linton Cosmetics, will launch a new plant-based sunscreen product to help prevent skin cancer today. Right, we want to take a short break, but then on the other side, we'll be having our very own Shula Chelingat to tell us what is happening and other correspondents. So stick around for that. where you are watching us is. Speaking of hot or cold, I want to cross over to Kakamega. Very own Violet Auma is. Violet, good morning. Again, it is quite chilly in County 047 right here in Nairobi. How hot or cold is it in Kakamega County? What is happening today? What should we be expecting on subsequent bulletins?
Yeah, thank you, Nyaringita. We are here in Kakamega County, of course, and today we woke up with some sad news, basically because locals here in Shehambi area, of course, have been complaining of issues of insecurity, and currently, like last night, we had some people that had come to steal cows from one of the residents here, but it is something that has been happening most of the time. For them, they are saying in the past 1 week, 4 of the animals have been lost, and so far none of the perpetrators have been, been brought to book or rather arrested by the police. And they're just calling out to the government to ensure that they fast track the process and also ensure that they put patrols in the area, just to ensure that for their safety and of course, also make sure that they are protected and their animals, especially the cows, according to the locals, are saying that it is something that is so rampant in the area. And I'm just bringing in one of the locals. Of course, last night, he says one of his cattle was stolen, but luckily enough, it was recovered from the people who had stolen. Karibu, umesema unaitwa nani na ni kitu gani ambacho kilifanyika hiyo jana?
Mimi naitwa Jacob Shionzo Mika. Niliamka usiku, kasikia ng'ombe yangu inalia. Wakati nilitoka, nikakuta ng'ombe moja hakuna. Nikaanza kutafuta. Bahati nzuri ni wakati nilikuwa natafuta nikajua ni siku ya leo ni siku ya sokoni. Nikaanza kufuata barabara. Fuata nikakuta watu wamefunga, wanachukua ng'ombe wanafunga, wanataka kuweka kwa tukutuku. Wakatoroka. Bahati nzuri ni raia wema wakakuja, wakachoma hiyo tukutuku.
So ni ng'ombe wako ni wa kwanza kuwahi kuibiwa? Maana wanasema kwamba visa vya ng'ombe kuibiwa vimekuwa vingi sana eneo hili.
Jumapili iliyopita walifunja tuka ya jirani yangu hapo, wakapepa vitu yote. Wiki ile nyingine wakachukua ng'ombe 2 zimeenda. Leo hii bahati yangu nzuri, mimi nilisikia ng'ombe ikilia na nikaamka nikapata yangu.
Na kwa labda pengine hivi visa unavyosema vinatokea mara kwa mara, mmejaribu kujulisha polisi wanasema
wamejua? Sasa wanajua, hata mimi mwenyewe mwenye kusungumza huyu ni mzee wa kijiji. Naelewa ninafanya bad road, lakini hatupatengi wao watu.
Hakuna yeyote amekamatwa?
Hajawahi kamata hata mtu mmoja.
Lakini unasema kwamba baada ya kupatikana hiyo ng'ombe hii leo, hiyo ng'ombe yako ambayo unasema ilikuwa imefungwa, walimaliza wakachoma tuktuk. Watu wenyewe walikuwa na tuktuk, walimaliza wakakamatwa?
Hakukamatwa.
Mbona watu walichoma tuktuk?
Sio exhibit, yani walikuwa na hasira. Kwa maana ng'ombe zao zinaibiwa na hawapatikani, wesi hawapatikani.
Okay.
Sasa takiri mwenye tukutuku ndiye anataka akueleze yule driver yule anaendeshanga hiyo tukutuku.
Mwenyewe amepatikana mwenye hiyo tuktuk?
Hajapatikana tu, lakini wamempigia simu. Wale watu wa tukutuku wamemjua mwenye tukutuku. Takiri mwenye tukutuku wanamuita, hajafika hapo.
Sawa. Asante, acha tuongee na mwingine kidogo. Naomba usonge kidogo kaka, naomba usonge kidogo. Songa hapa kidogo, tueleze majina yako alafu tueleze kuhusiana na visa ambavyo wanasema kwamba kumekuwa na utovu wa usalama eneo hili.
Kwa majina naitwa Peter Kimani Gitao. Mimi ni deputy nyumba 10. Tukiamkia jana kuna kijana anaitwa Budo alipigwa na nyundo kwa kichwa na ako Lifaro Eldoret na alinyang'anywa pikipiki. Abiria walimtoa Shehambi wakampeleka mpaka Nyayo T-Zone, na huko ndio penye walimfanyia hizo visanga, walimpiga na wakamnyang'anya pikipiki. Tafadhali tunaomba police commissioner uje utusaidie Shehambi, huku utofu wa usalama umezidi. Mahindi inachunwa mchana watu wakiona. Tafadhali tunaomba mtusaidie. Asante.
Lakini wakati wakazi wanachukua sheria mikononi mwao, kama vile wanasema wewe usiku kwa mke leo kuna hiyo tuktuk ambayo imechomwa, labda pengine kwako wewe unahisi polisi wanastahili kufanya nini haswa kuhakikisha kwamba visa kama hivi havirejelewi eneo hili?
Polisi indakano wafanye patrol. Hii patrol inakuwa ni patrol si ati kwa mwaka mara moja mara mbili. Kila siku wako wanafanya patrol. Sababu sasa hizo wamechukua sheria mkononi. Ndio.
Okay.
Ndiyo.
Na pia visa vya wizi wa pikipiki wanasema kwamba vilikuwepo wakati ule, lakini kama nyinyi labda pengine vitu vipi ambavyo mliweza kuweka ama kudhibiti huo wizi wa pikipiki?
Tulikuwa tunafanya patrol, lakini saa hizi sasa vile wanasikia wezi wenyewe wanatembea na bunduki, wewe mwenyewe wezi na uko na rungu, hawezi tembea na rungu na mtu ako na bunduki. Sasa inabidi maaskari watusaidie.
Okay. Sasa naomba usonge kidogo. Kama unaweza toa kofia nitashukuru. Tuanze kwa majina.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Ruben Otiende Kindeche. Mimi ni chairman na Shakambi, nyumba 10 Shakambi area. Wizi umezidi kwa sababu tunaomba serikali tusaidie kwa sababu kuna wizi. Juzi wameiba pikipiki 3 kwa hii area ya Shakambi ambayo tuko hapa. Pia ng'ombe, wizi umekuwa nyingi wa kuvunja manyumba, hata wanaibia watu mchana. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ambao wanahusika watusaidie tupatrol na nyumba 10, pia Likuru watupe uwezo ambaye watupe maaskari hata 2 tuwe tunapatrol na usiku kwa sababu hawezi wanaanza kuibia watu mwendo wa saa 8 saa 9 kwenda kama kunaenda kupambazuka. Kwa hivyo tunaomba county commissioner na wale wahusika watusaidie, pia wachunguze hao watu ambao wanauza pikipiki zile mzee, wanajifanya wanauza pikipiki mzee, kumbe ndio hao wanatuma watu kuibia watu. DCI wachunguze vitu kama hizo.
Labda pengine kama nyumba 10 eneo hili, mwenyekiti wa nyumba 10 eneo hili, tuelezee kuhusiana na kisa cha jana ambacho unasemekana ya kwamba ng'ombe alipatikana na tuktuk ikachomwa.
Ng'ombe imepatikana kuamkia usiku wa leo. Kwa hivyo tunaomba hata wenyeji wetu ambao wakiona kitu kama hiyo wajulishe nyumba 10 ama serikali, polisi wale wako karibu. Kwa sababu kuna wizi wezi fanyika kama hakuna mtu ambaye anahusika hapo. Mtu hawezi toka mbali Mumias anakuja kuiba hapa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba wananchi tushirikiane, watusaidie sisi nyumba 10, pia wasaidie serikali. Hatuwezi laumu polisi peke yao, paka sisi tukue ndani tusaidiane ndio hiyo vitu ziishe.
Okay. Labda upande wa patrol, kuna kituo cha polisi hapa karibu?
Hapa kituo cha polisi ni Kakamega Central Police Headquarters, ndio kituo chetu. Alafu kuna ingine Shitungu. Pia sisi tunaomba ili watupe enforcement, hata watupe raincoat na tuwe tunatembea na mapolisi. Wakitupa polisi tukupatrol nayo hii wizi itapunguka kwa sababu polisi ni wachache. Wawezi ingia mitaani, pia polisi wajue njia za mkatokato ndani. Na wezi wanatumia hizo mabarabara za mitoni. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Nyaringita. As you've heard from the locals, is that there was a theft that was done yesterday, but of course the people who came actually to steal, or rather the thieves, were not able to be, they were not caught. And for them, they're just calling on to the government to ensure that probably the police ensures that they reinforce the patrols and also ensure that the locals ensure their security and their livestock. I mean, from here, I take it back to you, Nyaringita.
I thank you, Violet, for that. Hopefully, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki will, is really hearing this particular, matter on that. That is what is happening in Kakamega County. Now to the capital in Nairobi. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning, Stanley. How are you?
I'm
good.
Amin Kosalama.
Kosalama?
Yes.
It's just the cold that is biting, really.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So today we have a couple of events we are expecting from Nairobi.
Right.
Let's begin with, Kenya is hosting the Africa Climate Summit, which is expected to be held in KICC from the 4th to the 6th of August. And about 9,500 delegates have already registered for this summit. But what is interesting to note is that the thematic area in which this summit is focusing on is renewable energy. And the statistics indicate that about 900 million Africans still use means that are not really earth friendly.
Right.
So we're looking at a climate summit that is coming to, ask for more funding, especially African countries in their bid to try and, fight climate change, because you find that even globally, the temperatures are really rising higher and higher.
I was actually coming to that. I mean, I understand you are, health and science reporter, and also it matters environment. So you're really up in matters climate change and all this. We did see President William Ruto in France around June talking about all this, climate financing and climate funding. And, he was saying, richer countries, you really have to pay our dues. And even recently, during the AU Media Summit, he also called on African leaders, even as he was inviting them for this, summit, for the, climate week.
Yes.
And he was, telling them the whole purpose of this is to actually, call for the funding, as you were saying. But from where you stand, will we really have, is there goodwill?
Definitely, we would see a little bit of goodwill because you find that President Ruto has really been vocal on matters climate change and Africans finding a solution for themselves, because we really cannot be depending on the Western world to come and find us solutions on how to tackle climate change. It has to begin within us. So from the 4th to the 6th, we expect to see the delegates chatting away on how to, find a new financial path to address the climate situation in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
COP28 is coming, by the way.
Yes.
In Dubai.
In Dubai. Lazima tuende.
Are you? Oh, lazima tuende.
Lazima tuende.
I hope your tickets are ready.
Absolutely. So moving on swiftly is that also today we are expecting, not in Nairobi though, we are expecting to see the Kisii motion on the removal of the speaker set.
Okay.
It was already set. So we are waiting to see the drama that unfolds. Unfortunately, the motion was set by the MCA for Gairuru or Gaitutu ward. Gaitutu.
Yeah.
Gaitutu ward.
Gaitutu.
Yes.
Okay, back home we say Gaitutu.
Gaitutu. So, and you find that the speaker has really not been happy about a lot of police presence in the area because they had to ask for enforcement. And this motion comes at a time where he is the third to actually face a motion of impeachment.
Right.
Yes.
And this also coming on the backdrop of, even as we celebrate and mark 10 years of devolution, speaks largely on how devolved units are being run.
Yes. Absolutely. And also you find that there has been a lot of such motions around speaker impeachment. For instance, in Kisii, they are saying that, it is the UDA affiliated ward members that are really seeking to overthrow the speaker. So this wrangle's coming at a time when we are just past the election, and Kenyans are expecting to see work being done on the promises that were promised, and Kenyans want it delivered. But this wrangles really continue to bring it back. Development is lagging behind.
Right.
Yes.
And from my home backyard in Kisii County, anything else? Now to other 46 counties?
Yes. Let's move on to the Senate today.
Right.
Today, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Ezekiel Machogu, is expected to be before Parliamentary Committee on Education Matters, and he has been called there to probably just give a way forward on some of the issues that have been raised. For instance, there has been the issue of scholarships in the education sector, where you find that counties have been incorporating with other academic institutions from abroad, and it has led to what some would say mega scams. For instance, we see this very prevalent in Uasin Gishu County, where there was the alleged Finland scholarships, the other Canada scholarships that parents say they have paid for these scholarships, but their students are still at home. So then they're asking the county government that why can't we get our money back? Why is it that we were promised these scholarship opportunities and we are not getting them? So it would be, we are really keeping an eye on what the Cabinet Secretary would have to say about that. Also, the Cabinet Secretary is expected to just speak on the delayed disbursement of HELB. Many students around the country, especially in high institutions, have really called on the government, this HELB disbursement is coming too late, and it's really not helping them, as they continue to, look for an education for themselves. Some from very poor backgrounds, and they're saying that the HELB would really come in handy for them. But up until now, there has been delayed disbursement. So the Cabinet Secretary, we are expecting to see what he has to say about that. Additionally, he is also expected to speak on the delayed payment of salaries to staff and pending bills at Kitui Teachers Training College. There has been an issue of salary delay, and let us see what the Cabinet Secretary Education will have to say about that. Also, he will be expected to speak on the status of the Kaimosi Friends University College, which was chartered on the 2nd of August 2022. Right. It is a year later. What is happening at Kaimosi?
Okay. Yes. And speaking of Kaimosi and the universities, today President William Ruto is going to be in Machakos County, in Masaku, to launch the Open University in Konza. How big of a deal will this be? Even taking a look at Konza as metropolitan and Konza as a city, how big of a deal will this really be?
Opening up the Open University really is a chance and an opportunity for the students around that area. You find that most of these universities have really concentrated in urban areas such as Nairobi. And Nairobi itself has several universities. And for some of the people who cannot really access education, having a university close to them is really beneficial. So it is a big of a deal for students around that area. Let us see how they would be impacted by this, and how also it opens up Konza to the world.
Okay, and speak of world, the WorldCoin, you're following up on that yesterday.
Yes.
What do you really expect now today? Yesterday we'd see contradicting messages and information from different ministries, from the ICT and the Interior Ministry, but then later on there was a whole joint statement on the same, really suspending the operations of this, and it has really formed our question of the day, and there's a number of mixed reactions from Kenyans. But then what do we really expect to see? Should we really see a retaliatory bit to this? It had really had grassroots in different parts of the country. So even as the fact that the government suspended the operations, are we still going to see now it being enforced? What do you expect on this?
The WorldCoin was suspended yesterday, as you just said, and the Cabinet Secretary Interior, Kithure Kindiki, mentioned that there would be inquiries to find first how did they come into the country, how legal it is for them to be working in the country. Okay. Also, we want to know this data that they're taking, where are they taking it to? How safe is our data with them? Because you find that WorldCoin has really been, has faced similar issues in other countries, Germany, France, UK, and India, where its activities were suspended. Yeah. And it was interesting to see Kimani Ichung'wah, the majority leader, saying, what is it that the Americans know about WorldCoin that we do not know. And so we are expecting to see if this inquiries really start working as soon as now, because Kenyans really once sold hope. They really want to see that we are working with this, and so we've seen a lot of people still lining up in as much as it was suspended. Therefore, we would really want to get answers on how safe is our data. Are we looking at a disaster? Okay. Yes.
And on a lighter note now, if the WorldCoin was now in Tanzania, how would they be calling it?
Definitely Samani ya Dunia.
Samani ya Dunia. I love that. She's probably, I don't know how Lemuki will say it, maybe Fred, but then that trumps up our news diary this particular day, the 3rd of August. And now back to you, Fred.
Thank you so much, Stanley and Sheila, for that update that you've been giving us over the last few minutes. Well, now you're up to date. The diary from across the counties and in Nairobi, you know what is going to happen today, and we'll be giving you updates across throughout the day on TV47. You've been watching Morning Cafe, and as we started, someone posed a question to Limuki on what the world coin, the Swahili translation of the same. I've seen Sheila has made a good one there. She called it what? Samania Dunia?
Samania Dunia. Alia?
No.
Alia, she said Sentia Dunia.
No, it's been 3 hours of research and and I can confidently tell my director Emmanuel that it's called Sarafu ya Kidijitali.
I'm pretty sure you have met Mwalimu Yusuf.
Actually, I ran into Mwalimu
Yusuf, yes,
in the morning. Yes, big up to him.
So Sarafu ya Kidijitali, Samani ya Dunia. Well, what would you call WorldCoin in Swahili?
And what's cryptocurrency in Swahili?
Sarafu ya Kidijitali.
Sarafu ya Kidijitali, yes.
I wash my hands in this Swahili banter.
Remember our question today, do you support the government's move to suspend operations of WorldCoin in Kenya? It was our top story today. The fact that this project founded by ChatGPT founder Sam Altman last week, which requires people to register by giving their iris data in exchange of a few tokens, crypto tokens, worth the equivalent of 7,000 Kenya shillings. It's a new craze in town. About 350,000 Kenyans have already enlisted, registered for the same. And yesterday, the government suspended operations of WorldCoin, and hence our question today. And we've sampled your feedback. A lot of people say, yes, the government was right. A lot of the fears that I get are about data privacy, data security. But it is also a way of saving and investment.
And reminds me again also what, again, your yesterday's one of the panelists, Justina Omai, was saying on Facebook and also Twitter. On one hand, this is free 7,000 shillings considering our economy, but then on the other hand, how safe are we really on our data?
Okay. Yes, so do you support the government's move to suspend operations of WorldCoin in Kenya? The conversation continues online, even beyond today's show. You can continue sharing your feedback on X, TV47 News, and on Facebook, TV47 Kenya is the page. And this is where we dock for the day. It's been a pleasure having you for the last 4 hours or so. And I don't know, do you have a wise saying today?
A philosophical one.
Do I?
Even in Swahili.
I think I'll give you one to close the week, but again, I just want to tell the youth that WorldCoin is not the, it's not the solution to unemployment, even as we all know, most of these people will run for that 7,000 shillings because at the end of the day, they have nothing to put a meal on their table. But I think quick money will just finish that quickly. Anyway, do have a lovely day. I'm Flora Limuki.
And the music